Here's the situation. You got some elite infantry lined up and a single cast of dwellers below. You might think to cast here, but it will actually get more value when you cast between two units. Don't believe me? Well, let's run a test. As you can see, Dwellers applies a poison effect that does quite a bit of damage all on its own. So how does it work? Dwellers below hits for 4 damage a second to each entity inside its radius. This effect lasts 15 seconds and is great versus blobbed infantry, but it's not the only source of damage. It also has a damage over time effect, which is equally impactful. It's applied to each unit touching the Vortex, and for 8 ticks it will target each entity with a 33% chance of dealing 55 damage. This will only happen 4 times a tick per unit though, and for the damage type, both sources are armor piercing magic damage. Lastly, as a bonus, the damage over time effect will not hurt your friendly units. This means the spell is best cast on elite infantry and cavalry, while barely touching monstrous infantry or weapon teams to get extra value. Now at 17 winds of magic, it is an expensive spell, so purely from a value standpoint, you want a little more than catching 1 unit of elite infantry. Now to get a feel for which targets give the best value, you'll want to use this graph. In terms of raw damage, you should be willing to hit 30 fewer entities if it means you'll hit another unit. Low entity units generally have less HP too, so most of the time, you're just looking to hit as many units as possible. As for units you're willing to target, entity counts as low as 16 will take max damage from the damage over time effect, and even unit sizes of 12 can be worth hitting if they have low HP. Overall, just look for the most expensive targets and make sure that the AoE is touching them. They can move out of the AoE before it gets all of its damage though, so make sure to keep that in mind. Other than that, there's also the Overcast, which adds an extra slow effect, but it's not very useful and most people don't really use it. Last but not least, an interesting interaction with artillery units. Since artillery pieces count as part of the unit even when they're unmanned, casting dwellers below on said artillery will apply damage over time to the crew. However, if manning the artillery, the 55 damage ticks will damage the artillery pieces instead. Now, if you found this useful, a like is the best way to spread the word, and if you're looking for more content like this, check out the channel.